Hello and welcome to another live Q&A. All right, so today we have a few exciting things. The first is that the branding masterclass has entered the beta launch. So for those of you who are in my beta tester group, you should have the link right now to test it. And let's see. I also am sharing it right now to the discounts for beta testers. There we go. There we go. So you should have access to it now if you are in either of the beta tester groups. You guys will have 72 hours to buy it for 70% off what we are going to sell the masterclass for when we do launch it to the entire community. And then you have 72 hours to purchase the branding masterclass at 70% off. Get me your feedback. Within the next week or two, we will start implementing that feedback and then launch the branding masterclass for everyone else to access. In the meantime, there are a few other things that I'm going to send you the links to right now. Okay, let's see, chat. We have this. Came up last week. It's free for everyone. It is the proprietary profitability framework that we use to determine if a startup, if a startup, let me just share it to LinkedIn. If a startup is ready to go profitability wise, if their business model is sound, if the way that they plan on managing and running certain operations, if that is optimized for profitability. This is best for those who are looking to launch their first company, create their first company. This is not a tool that's really relevant if you're working on a marketing team for another company and you're looking for marketing strategies. Next thing we have, and this is more for that launched last week, and this is actually more for the marketing people, those who want to get to the next level with their marketing. They want to learn key concepts. They want a live Q&A that's actually both of us seeing each other. So it's for small groups. We'll have 3 groups, 2 groups that are 33 members and 1 group that is 99 members. Okay, let's see. Okay. Sure. There you go. All right. So those are the 2 things that have launched this week for the entire Molo9 community. Sorry, reverb. There we go. All right, sorry about that. I have YouTube and LinkedIn open as well, so I can make sure that I get all of your comments. All right, next up we have marketing questions. Just a reminder for those of you who are new, if you have any marketing questions, you can drop them into our Telegram group. So I have my phone up, and I will take them first priority from the Telegram group, second priority from the Quora. Group, the Quora questions that were asked. Sorry, some of you guys sent me puzzling questions. Okay, so we're going to stick with the marketing questions for now, and then all of the productivity questions that you're messaging me, those we will address at the end. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this one's kind of relevant right now because we just had the branding masterclass launch. The question is, what is more important, the brand, the logo, or the name, and why? You don't really want to think of, so the brand includes the logo and the name. Those are part of the brand's identity. You could think of it this way: the brand is like a person, and then the logo is like the person's face, and their name is like the person's name. You like what you know about the person, how they dress, how they behave, what they're involved with, what they do for work. Um, are they a parent? Are they a child? Like all of those things give you more information about the brand and whether or not you want to engage with that brand, whether or not you're going to be loyal to that brand. So I wouldn't say that like the brand's identity or the logo or the name, like it's not one or the other. The name can be, the name is arbitrary. I wrote, let me read this to you. It's from the branding masterclass. Let's see, where do I cover naming? Company name. Okay, so there are three things that you'll see with naming. People who pick a domain name that's a sentence, or they pick a sentence for their company name. Names are supposed to be easy to understand, and they're supposed to be easy to pronounce in whatever country or community you're launching them in. So that's like the two main priorities with naming. After that, it's, can it be shorter than 7 characters, or can it contain like a word that's commonly used within that society, or let's see, a real word, or shorter than 7 characters. So, and can you get the .com? Those are more important than like coming up with this epic name, because the brand's identity that you wrap around the name is what gives meaning to the name. Same with the logo. The logo, it's not, I would say, arbitrary. It's the logo does communicate things to people. There are certain elements that you want to keep in mind when you're considering a logo. I'm going to just quickly pull up again the logo lesson from the branding masterclass. Okay, so let's see if I can synthesize this entire post into a few words. Okay, so with your logo, you want the things that make it easy to remember are personified brands. So if the brand has a personality, like M&M's, the candy, Tony the Tiger, the cereal. What else do we have? Amazon, they have a smile that points from the A to the Z. Your logo, you want it to be something that's recognizable, that stands out, that looks trustworthy, that makes people feel relaxed and like they can trust that brand. There's a lot that goes into the psychology of picking that based on who's in your target market and which region of the world you're launching in. The other thing to keep in mind with logos is the cultural meaning of that logo. So when I came out with the Molo9 Panther, we actually wanted it to be black. And then the movie Black Panther came out, and I was like, okay, we will never rank for Black Panther when like this, with my startup, is competing against Marvel Studios for like 2 keywords. So we ended up going with the Purple Panther because there was nothing that was competing heavily for the Purple Panther SEO wise. So there's a lot more that goes into picking the logo and the name, and then the brand identity. That's the foundation. You have to decide, okay, what do people like about this type of company? Okay, this is going to be the foundation for our brand. Which type of archetypes work well and stand out here? This is the foundation for the brand. And then from there, you kind of figure out how to put in, to paint the picture to be a whole cohesive picture that people want to look at. And so then you're picking, after the archetype, the brand fascination score, you're picking fonts that maximize conversions, because yes, there are certain fonts that will drive consumers away before they even read the first line on your website, and there are other fonts that'll keep people scrolling down on your website. Then there's the right company colors. There's certain company colors that work better within certain industries. And then you have the name and the logo. So that's kind of how everything fits in together branding wise. Can you give an example of positive and negative marketing strategy? Okay, yes. So I actually shared this in the Molo9 Telegram channel this morning. I'm sorry, maybe I didn't. Let me repeat the question. I don't know if I said it loud enough. The question is, can you give an example of positive and negative marketing strategy? An example of negative marketing strategy. When we were testing, if Melon wasn't working for streaming to, we were trying to stream to Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn all at the same time. It kept giving me random errors. So a few beta testers very graciously joined me one day, and we tested Melon across a few different apps. And the name of the video or the event as it appeared on YouTube and LinkedIn was Test Melon App Take, and then the number for the test. So that was take 4. And I got an email this morning saying, hey, your event on LinkedIn was amazing. Test Melon App take 4 was absolutely incredible. We thought it'd be even cooler if you added this GIF at the opening. And here you could click here to get your GIF that's going to display at the start of your videos and your events moving forward. And I was like, this is horrible. Like, they didn't even double check if their automation is picking the right events before they just blasted out these emails. Okay, positive marketing strategy. I would say a very carefully designed funnel. So there are funnels where people try to like force someone through the funnel. Like they try to force you to purchase. And it's kind of like, okay, you could do that, but you are going to have people, like, as soon as a competitor comes out, you're not going to have a loyal following. You're going to have people jumping ship simply because your competitor, their first thing that they're going to do is amazing customer service. That's how you get new customers in the beginning. And then you have people who have a funnel where you don't feel pressured to buy the next thing. So you come in, you get whatever their freebie is. And then their freebie, it gives you value. And they say, okay, if you want more value or if you want to continue along this same line, then you can opt into this course or to this program. And you already got to see what lesson 1 is like. Here's lessons 2 through 10. And so you get to decide for yourself, okay, as like an educated adult who wants to learn more, I want to opt into this. That's, I think, an example of a positive marketing strategy. The strategies where you kind of like shove the consumer into a corner and tell them they only have one option, and the only option is to do this, or they're screwed. Like that's not exactly, you see larger companies doing that, and they're not as customer centric, because customer focused as startups. And that's why there's so much room for startups to come in, is because as companies get bigger, they don't necessarily always think about the customer. And that's when you see incumbents replaced by whatever is new and customer centric. All right, so what's positive and negative marketing? What is content strategizing in marketing? Okay, so content strategizing in marketing. When you're coming up with content, there's this really dumb idea out there that, oh, all you need to do is create great content. That's it. That's the key to getting engagement. I can tell you that personally, I have worked on projects with different growth hacking groups where the the person that was saying, oh, the only thing I did was write great content, they were actually using automated pods, which means that they have fake engagement. So they'd say, oh, all I'm doing is creating really great content. Meanwhile, they had a tech person in the other room who was managing like 300 different social media accounts, and they had a bot that was going through and liking and commenting on the different posts. So that's not like great content. That it's not a strategy. It's usually people give that to you if they don't want to tell you what their real strategy is. The real strategy is you say, okay, this is what is the goal of this piece of content? We actually have a checklist in Molo9. Let me just read off the high points for you. One second to find it. Okay. Let's see. See, everyone's liking the different things. Okay. Okay, so if you go into Molo9, go to marketing projects and resources, you'll see the checklists and the workbooks. You have one that says content creation process for better SEO. And that walks you through how I create a piece of content when the goal is to get better rankings for certain phrases in SEO. Like when ranking on search engines, you want to rank for a certain phrase. This is exactly how I do it. It's the content creation for better SEO, the workbook. I'll send you the link right now. Here you go. Okay, so that walks you through exactly how to create content when you're trying to rank for a specific phrase. So when would you be trying to rank for a specific phrase? Let's see. So you have ads that you're running, you have a funnel that's built, you understand your consumers, you understand that they like certain free content, and when they consume this free printable, this free resource, attend this free webinar, after that they're going to opt in to buy whatever your small offer, introductory offer is. So you say to yourself, okay, I have this webinar. If I record it, I can have people watch the recording. Well, let me get it transcribed so that we can post it. We can post the webpage. We can have the transcription underneath so that it can easily be ranked for certain phrases. Well, which phrases do you want to rank for? And why do you want to rank for those phrases? Well, we want to rank for these specific key phrases because the people who type this into Google and they watch our webinar are the types of people who are going to buy our introductory offer and maybe other offers in the future. That's kind of how you figure out what exactly you want to be ranking for. You have to look at the big picture. What is this person searching for on Google? What are they going to end up looking at that's going to win them over as a customer so that they purchase something else? That's kind of a taste of content strategizing for you. Another example of content strategizing, depending on how big you determine the content bucket should be, it could also include high converting lead magnets. So we have certain lead magnets that we use that will get people more excited to quickly buy whatever's next. And there's an exact, I share my exact process again for that. That's also in the Molo9 library. I've already shared the link both on LinkedIn and on YouTube. So you're able to see that on, just click that link and you scroll down, you'll see both workbooks there. And if you don't have a Molo9 account, you can, comments are coming on LinkedIn. Okay. You can go here to get, what is it? If you don't need the campaign planner and you just want to download those workbooks, you can get the startup. You can subscription here for Molo9. All right, next. Next question from you guys. Can an effective marketing strategy be created without any knowledge of the product? No. No, because, okay, marketing is human psychology, and people, I had a friend the other day asked in a group that we're all in, he said, can somebody help me with lead generation? That was it. There was nothing about like what industry he's in, what he's selling, nothing. And then someone said, yes, I'd be happy to help you with digital marketing. And I immediately messaged him and I was like, if someone is going to accept and offer to help you with lead generation and they know nothing about your industry, they don't even know like what you're selling, who you're selling to, do not accept. There's like young marketers who have watched like one Udemy video are like, oh, I'm a digital marketer now. I know how to do this because I know how to click a few buttons on Facebook to set up a Facebook ad. I'm a digital marketer. There's a lot that goes into convincing somebody that your solution is the right solution. And the biggest thing is empathy. That's why you'll see a lot of ads that run and they ask certain questions like, do you feel like this? Is it because of this? If these are the two feelings that you're experiencing, this is the solution that we created for that. The reason that copywriting formula works so well is because you're saying, hey, I intimately understand your problem. Well, you can't intimately understand someone's problem and how your solution addresses that problem if you understand nothing about the product, the solution that you're trying to sell, and if you understand nothing about the people that you're trying to sell it to. Who are they? Why do they buy it? Why do they buy what you're selling versus what someone else is selling? Those are all things that you need to know in order to make an effective marketing campaign or to put any marketing strategy together. Okay. What makes great content strategy flow? What makes a great content strategy flow? The ease at which people can complete each step. So there's basically in the brain, like we seek reward, we try to avoid risk. There's something within the brain where we like the dopamine rush. We like the feeling, the chemicals that our brain releases when we get a reward. So something that can have somebody easily flow from one step to the next. So from reading a free blog post to downloading a free checklist or guide or attending a free webinar or whatever, to opting in to purchase that first initial item, that flow right there, you need it to be easy for them to do each thing. So with lead magnets, one of the reasons they fail is they end up being way too long. They end up being way too cumbersome. Sometimes that's intentional because people are trying to weed out those who aren't actually going to buy it. So, but other times it's just ridiculous. Whereas I think it's in the other room. I downloaded a lead magnet, I think it was last year. And it was like a 200-page workbook. And I was like, they've got to be joking. Like 20 pages max. I don't care how much content you need to put in that workbook, 20 pages max. And even we have a few workbooks that are lead magnets. And even those, like I'm considering slimming them down even more. But you want it to be whatever content you're putting out, that you want to have people like funnel people into your sales funnel, your marketing sales funnel. It has to be easy for them to go to the next step. Okay, next. Do entrepreneurs need marketing skills and strategies to be successful? If you are the person creating the product and you don't have marketing and strategy skills, you need to partner with someone who does. I used to attend this monthly meeting with some people who just thought that like marketing was beneath them. And after, I don't know, a few meetings, I realized that the meetings were a waste of time for me because these people kept having to pivot what they were selling, and they thought there was something wrong with the product when there was nothing wrong with the product. What the problem was, they did not know what marketing was. They just knew that women do marketing. Or, oh yeah, somebody can go on maternity leave, come back, and they'll still be good at marketing. So marketing can't be that hard because programming, you'd be outdated. Like there's these really deadly misconceptions about marketing. And they're not deadly to the marketers. They're deadly to the people who believe them. Marketing, you should think of it as just effectively communicating with and connecting with people that want to buy a product or service. It doesn't matter how good your product or service is if people don't know it exists. And they can't know it exists if you don't find a way to make it easy for them to understand what you're selling so that they can buy it. Okay. So what is the best strategy for owning multiple businesses? Okay, so whenever we own a few companies, 7 to be exact, 7 brands and LLCs and majority ownership in C corps and all of, like that's how we have everything structured. With each of those, before we bought in, so bought shares in or bought a part of or founded, the next one, we made sure that everything we needed to do or that I needed to do could be managed within a few short hours or a few short minutes, and everything else was managed by other people so I could really be hands off. If you can't be hands off and you have to be hands on with every single company and you don't have managers or executives in place that you can trust to do what needs to be done and only come to you if there's like a serious fire, you're going to be like a chicken with your head cut off trying to have multiple businesses, and they won't be working for you to give you the life you want. You'll basically be a slave to a bunch of ideas that you shot out into the world and are having to run around and like think of it as taking like a herd of 100 cats, letting them loose, and then trying to get them all to come back to you when they're not hungry and it's not raining outside. Good luck. So you have to have systems in place so that they're managed properly and you don't have to be managing them day to day yourself. What are the downsides to using influencer marketing campaigns? Sorry, let me just double check in Telegram before I keep going with Cora. Close this. Okay. All right, next. What are the downsides to using influencer marketing campaigns in your business strategy? I think the number one is that they're expensive. Because with influencer marketing campaigns, they can be very costly for you. And until you have a steady flow coming in of new customers coming in and money coming in, I would put those a little bit further down on your roadmap of things that you'd like to use. The thing to keep in mind is that in the beginning, you're figuring out which where your target market hangs out online, where you're figuring out where they hang out online, which messages resonate with them, and things like that. And once you have all that information, you can say with a much higher degree of certainty, hey, this is going, this strategy with this influencer will most likely get us, we can reasonably expect to see this many sales from spending this much money on this influencer. If you are not at a point in your marketing growth or in your company's growth where you can reliably predict a range of consumers that you expect to purchase that that product or service after the influencer promotes it, then you want to wait until you have an influencer or invest money in an influencer, because marketing isn't a gamble. It's not you going to a casino and throwing money. It's an investment. You do research before you invest in different stocks. You do research into the company. You figure things out. Is this really the best option out there? Is this going to get me the return that I want on my money? That's what marketing is. So with hiring influencers, if that's a gamble or it's a risk or you're unsure of how things should end up, or you have absolutely no idea and you're thinking that this is a Hail Mary, hold off until it's not a Hail Mary, or until you at least have the budget for it to not be a Hail Mary. Okay. How can a company use digital marketing to increase its brand awareness? So many ways. So many ways. Okay. Let's start with this one. All right. So to get your first 100 to first 1,000 customers, this is the exact step-by-step process that I use. All right. So that will show you, that walks you through exactly how to get your first, so usually by the time you finish implementing everything in that checklist, you have, or by the time I finish implementing everything in that masterclass that it walks you through, because we expanded the checklist into a masterclass, I have at least 20, if not 100 paying customers. And then by the time I finish, you have some viral loops in there. So some strategies in that masterclass that they continue to acquire customers for you long after you've put them up. They're not like paid ads where you run a paid ad and you're only getting customers as long as that paid ad is running. You have customers will continue to be acquired long after you've implemented the things in there. So usually what ends up happening is we do the launch, and then we aim to rank #1 for the company's name, SEO wise. And then from there, we look at the brand, revamp it, so that it resonates with the people that have been spending the most money with the company. And then by the time we've gotten through those 3 processes, there's usually around, I don't know, a few hundred to, if not like 1,000 paying customers. With Molo9, by the time I got through those 3 processes, there were 1,800 paying customers. So you, if you're looking for brand awareness, you're a brand new startup that's going to use digital marketing, that launch masterclass, that's not something that I can teach you in 10 minutes. That's why there's a masterclass that people take. And I've yet to tell someone that they implemented everything in that masterclass and it didn't work for them. So if you're really looking to get paying customers for your startup, that's my solution. It's out there. It's for you to decide if that's the solution that you want to use, or if you want to try something else instead. Okay, how can a company use digital marketing to increase its brand awareness? We just did that one. Give me a second. Sorry, I am drinking my lunch today because it is that typical. Can you give an example of a successful marketing strategy that you've seen work well in real life? I could give you thousands of examples. They are all in the Molo9 database, organized based on what you want to achieve. Okay. So, can you give an example of a successful marketing strategy that you've worked well in real life? Yes. Giving people something that they want that helps them to achieve a small goal, and then telling them that if they would like to achieve a bigger goal, they can opt in to whatever your second offer is. So let's say you're a marketing agency and you have people that want to, you have people who want to, let's see. Your marketing agency, people want to create a whole new funnel. Well, you don't start by building out the whole funnel. You start by helping them build out a lead magnet. And then they see that the lead magnet works. But people who are going to the website or going to the next call to action after the lead magnet, they're not converting. So then you help them with that next step in the process. You help them to fix conversions there. And then slowly, you've optimized the client's entire funnel. But you don't get that client to hire you to build them a full funnel by saying, oh yeah, listen, okay, so we're going to do your lead magnet, then we're going to do your entire website, and then we're going to look at all of your product offerings and see what else we can offer in terms of product going to the customer. You start out with, okay, let's focus on the lead magnet. Let's see if you like what we do. If you do, then we can go from there. Halfway through the lead magnet project, they're loving the results. So then you say, okay, when you're ready, I noticed in Google Analytics or whatever analytics are using, Gecko board, whatever, that people are downloading the lead magnet, but they're not booking a call, or they're not scheduling an appointment, or they're not purchasing whatever the class is that you have. So then let's look at what we can do on this landing page or on this website. Should we add some testimonials? Should we add some case studies? You have to start small with people. You have to think of marketing like dating. So you have to go on a first date. You have to go on a second date. You have to have a dating profile. You can't just expect somebody to blindly marry you. In certain countries that does work, but that's not how it works in the marketing, like company to customer world. Okay. What is growth hacking, and what are some examples of successful startups that used it as their main marketing strategy? Okay. So growth hacking, this is going to get very technical. Some of you, I'm sorry, I will lose you, but we're answering this question for a second and then we will go back out of tech speak. So there's something called a 0-day growth exploit. Well, first, let's go to tech. There's something called a 0-day exploit. That means that there's somewhere in the code, in the software, function, in the website, that basically allows people to do things that they're not supposed to be able to do. So it allows people to download an unlimited number of movies when they're supposed to be purchasing the movies for $22 per movie. It allows people to put a snippet of JavaScript into the dev console and get 3,000 likes on a post from accounts that they don't manage. They're all fake likes, but people just see the 3,000 likes. They don't know how they got them. That's an example of a 0-day growth exploit or a 0-day exploit. It's something where there's an issue with the code that allows people to do something that they shouldn't necessarily be able to do. So growth hacking is basically doing that. You're finding ways to manipulate an algorithm to give you the result that you want. So another example, growth hacking is very popular with algorithms. So it's very common. Most growth hacks have to do with ranking on social media, getting engagement for posts on social media, various social media sites, getting things to rank higher for longer in terms of comments and things like that. Sorry, let me get a housekeeper to let the dog in. Give me 1 second. Okay, so that's those are a few examples of what growth hacking is. And then startups that have used it successfully. Unfortunately, growth hacking is kind of one of those things where the person has to close the door behind them. So what works for people today, it won't work tomorrow, because it's something where like a door is left open to a super cool club. one of the security guards comes around, realizes it's open. A bunch of kids have been getting into the super cool club for free, and he shuts the door. The door is eventually shut on growth hacks, most growth hacks. So some growth hacks end up becoming timeless marketing strategies, and some growth hacks, they are the growth exploit, or the hole in the code is patched, and you're no longer able to use it later on. So you may be thinking, oh, all I need is a few key growth hacks. Yes, but the reason that growth hackers who actually know what they're doing are expensive is because they have to go in, look at the code, find an exploit, use it for you very quickly while it's actually effective, and then it's going to be patched. So it's not like there's growth hacks aren't like something that you can find, that you can read about in a book. They're not something that you can usually by the time they're published online in a public forum, you have maybe like between 15 and 60 days before they're patched. If they're not patched within 60 days, then they're not a growth hack. They're actually turning into a marketing strategy. I used to be like really into growth hacking. That was like my favorite thing, was figuring out how to manipulate social media algorithms to get things to rank higher or to get more views and things like that. And one client was like, how do you know what the growth hacks are like months before they're published on Medium and these other like niche forums? And it was like, oh, because I make my own. And if you're looking to hire a growth hacker, you don't want somebody who's looking on Medium and what's the other one? Marketing Warrior Forum or something like that. You want someone who's creating their own growth hacks, who's creating their own viral loops, designing their own viral loops. Yes. All right. Next. What is the importance of marketing strategy? Okay, I'm going to answer that question with a question. What is the importance of having paying customers? If you need paying customers, you need to figure out how to get people to give you money to have whatever you're selling. You need to figure out how to get people to pay for the service that you're selling. Yeah, that's what marketing strategy helps you with. Okay, next. How can businesses adapt their strategies to changing market conditions? Okay, I need to stand, please. Sorry. We're gonna move this up. 1 second. Here we go. Okay, you have me standing now, because these lights are very hot and they're draining my energy, and I need to keep answering your questions for another 15 minutes. All right, so how can businesses adapt their strategies to changing market conditions? That's like a very broad general question, and it totally depends on how the market is changing. So for example, Zoom was able to take off during, oh, I'm sorry, let me move the microphone up. Zoom was able to take off during COVID because they knew how to quickly get themselves in front of decision makers and say, hey, we're going to help you to have your team continue to meet and work remotely throughout this pandemic, whereas other companies crashed and burned. What is your go-to marketing strategy? Give me 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. All right. What is your go-to marketing strategy for your startup? How will you reach your target market? Okay, the go-to-marketing strategy that I use for our startup, you can see it as, again, as a checklist in the Molo9 library, or as the masterclass that is mentioned here. It is not, okay, all right. It's not a two-step thing. And I don't know why people think that you become a millionaire and have this crazy, awesome, successful startup by just doing two things. If it was that easy, then everyone would be doing it. It's not. It's very specific strategy. It's very specific. It's brain thought intensive work that you need to put in order to get people to come purchase from you. Do you eventually have so many people pouring in, buying whatever you're selling? Possibly, ideally, but it doesn't start out like that. You start small. You start with getting 10 customers, or you start with getting one customer, then 3, then 10, then 200, then 1,000. You don't start with 30,000 customers lining up for your product unless you have an unless you're investor backed and you have a crazy amount of pre-launch press going out, but that's really hemorrhaging money and building something that you're not sure if people are even going to react well to. It's a little bit high risk. Um, anyways, okay, next. What are the benefits of having both technical and content marketing in your business strategy? I don't know what you mean by technical marketing, so you're going to have to define that if you want me to answer that question. You could post it either in the comments, or you could post it in the Telegram channel. Next. How much should I charge for social media services? That's a very, very vague question. You have to figure out, okay, what are you offering? What's the value add and what's the return on investment? So if you tell me that you're going to run paid ads for me and everyone else who has given you $2,000 to run paid ads has seen like $100,000 in sales, I'm going to say, oh my gosh, yes, absolutely, I'll give you $2,000. If you're going to say, oh, you have to pay me $2,000 to run your paid ads and I might get you $10 in sales, obviously I will say no. So you have to kind of price your services based on what you're giving to people. Like, are you giving them something that's valuable? If this is you, here's a really good book. Give me a second. Okay, so it is called Value-Based Fees. It is by Alan Weiss. I'm sharing it right now in the comments. One second. All right, 1 and 2. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. Next. How can startup founders develop and execute a go-to-market strategy? I'm going to sound like a broken record. Okay, I have that all written out in our launch course, which you can grab over there. You download the profitability framework, or you can just scroll down and dive straight into the course to see exactly how I take a startup and bring it to market, get the first 3 customers, get the first 3 testimonials, get it onto a few directories, up to 100 different startup directories, so that people can start pouring in from there. Everything is in that course. There's the link, so you can grab it. Okay. What is Burger King's current marketing strategy? I have no idea. Can you give an example of a company that has successfully used content marketing as their primary marketing strategy? No, I don't know where the book is. Okay, so consumer engagement. I'm trying to think of who recently did it. I think it was Ryan Holiday with his growth marketing. Growth hacker marketing. Okay. First off, so he used growth. He wanted to figure out what growth hacking was, and he didn't get exactly what growth hacking is, but he did. He reframed the way that some people view certain types of marketing. Basically, is what he did. And there's his book. He said with his book, the promotion of his book, he intentionally only used the tactics that he covered in the book. So he did not use, he did not use any marketing tactics or strategies that he didn't teach in that book. So if you look at that book, I think what he did was mainly content marketing. Keep in mind, the last time I read that book was 4 years ago about. So there may be other examples since then. That's the first one that I would check out if that's what you're looking at doing. Okay. What are the components of a great strategic plan? Okay. Number one, understanding what drives your consumers. What are their fears? How does your solution negate their fears? What are they struggling with? What is one of their problems? How does your solution help them to face that problem? Okay. What are the key elements of a success? Oh, and your ads are supposed to be a taste of what the person's getting. There was an ad the other day, and it was for trying new type of exercise, new type of workout. So instead of doing these exercises that I usually get off of from the Women's Health magazine, there was an app that what I was looking to tone or looking to work out on, and it would tell me which exercises to do. So it was like, oh yeah, that sounds good. So I clicked on it, and then it started asking me 600 questions. It wasn't 600. I think it was 21 different questions. And I still never got to the workout app. I finally just gave up at question number 21. None of these questions are relevant. You have an ad showing me exercises to target different muscle groups. That's what I want to do. Why don't you just show me the app? I was willing and eager to buy the app, but they chased me away with this virtual interrogation. So whatever you're trying to give someone, make it easy for them to buy it. Don't have this huge, all these hurdles that they have to jump through to see how profound you are before they could just buy your product. Just let them buy your product. Save the profound philosophical debates for sharing with your friends over a glass of whiskey. Okay. What are the key elements of a successful digital strategy for business success? Elements. What are the key elements of a successful digital strategy for business success? How does it impact consumer engagement and retention strategies? Okay. This question could take a 3-day seminar to answer. So we're going to skip it for now. And the answer is so depends on industry and all of that. What are marketing strategy comparisons? I don't know. Where does a business strategy come from? usually comes from your strategist or the person in charge of your marketing, or if you're in a regulated sector, it comes from joint efforts of your marketing and your legal team. I actually know some marketing people who decided to go get their JD just so they wouldn't have to always be asking a lawyer whether or not they could run with certain marketing material. And they learned the law for that industry in the place where they are working as marketers. So now they're able to just put together great marketing campaigns without having to constantly go back and forth with the legal department. Okay, it is 11:57. I'm taking one more question, and then we are going to finish for today. So let's see, no questions here. I'm going to go over. All right. So, last question. What are the benefits of a successful digital marketing strategy? The benefits of a successful digital marketing strategy are that you have more people purchasing whatever you're selling. You have more of your current customers spending more money with you. Marketing equals money. So if marketing is not bringing you money, then you might want to question who you picked to be in charge of your marketing. You might want to question which marketing strategies you're selecting and trusting, because your marketing efforts should be bringing money into your company. All right. Just a quick reminder for those of you that are not yet the money-making marketing masters, if you want to join a group of people that are learning how to become such the money printing marketing masters, then you can join this mastermind that is kicking off in November. If you apply this week and you're accepted, then you get to go to a free bonus session on October 19th. All right, so great talking with you all. Nothing more fun than being interrogated online about marketing for an hour. So I appreciated all your questions. Some of them were thought-provoking. Some of them were redundant. Come on, guys. Enough with the redundant questions. Let's bring some fun ones next week. All right, I'll see you all next time. Keep an eye out on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Telegram for when we will have our next free live Q&A session. Take care. Have a good day. Bye.